Hey everyone, and this is Huve, and welcome to Geek Destinations. This is the first video that I'll be posting for Geek Destinations, and some of you guys might have seen me from previous projects like VITV and more recently Huve Travels. So I was kind of wondering how to combine everything because the travel site was cool. But the problem is that for me, I travel to some of my favorite destinations, which are usually conventions. You know, I go to Japan. I go to places that geek fandom tends to go to because I'm a geek. So geek travels, geek destinations, you know. So I figured geek destinations, with the word destination, I could emphasize on both the traveling and the destination itself. So if I had a like Huba Travels on the side, I used to talk about the travel experience, but then I focused about going to, for example, when I went to Japan, I went to Anime Japan, and I made an entire page out of that. And some people might end up getting confused, figuring it's like, well, isn't this about traveling and all that? So with Geek Destinations, I can actually combine both things, the travel part and the destination. So everybody knows that I'm a geek who travels. So, hence Geek Destinations. So welcome to the first video that I'm posting on here. Now the reason I'm posting this video, and I'm going to try and make this really quick, is for a friend of mine who's going to be going to Japan in 3 days. Now she asked me for advice a while ago, and I sent her some stuff. I sent her an email, and I sent her a couple of links to I believe to my YouTube page from my last trip to Japan. And I have videos there from previous stuff as well. And but I was gonna get back to her, but I've been so busy with work, working on a feature we're wrapping up right now. It's gonna be one of these summer features that's gonna be coming out, and it's just the hours have been crazy. 12 hours sometimes we end up saying more until shots get approved. So it's a crazy world that I work in, and hence a crazy world that I live in. So I wasn't able to get to my friend, and she's like 3 days away from her trip. And so I kind of want to emphasize on one of the very important things, because once you get to Japan, you need to move around. So traveling is very important when you get there, because one of the main transportations is the rail system, whether it be the train, the metro, or the subway. So it kind of depends what you get on. Where you're going to be going and what you're going to be doing, and it's just a lot of times getting on the right train can make the difference from getting to where you're going and or going to a completely different part of town, or maybe even a different province altogether. So you kind of want to be careful about that. So I'm making this video to let my friend know of an alternative for to stay on top of schedules and knowing that you're getting on the correct train of the destination you're going. The cool thing about this is that it's something that I have. I use T-Mobile, and this is in no way to promote T-Mobile, but I'm letting you guys know my experience as opposed to when I had Verizon and I went to Japan. I couldn't use it because using their data or even making calls from through Verizon was extremely expensive. It ridiculously expensive. And sorry about my hair here. It's kind of I'm a sweaty mess. It's hot here in LA, and so yeah, my hair kind of tends to get all frizzy and stuff. So here we go, guys. I look much better. Okay. So again, this isn't to say, hey, T-Mobile's better, but this is my experience. T-Mobile, you have um, unlimited international data and texting. That's a given. All you gotta have is a simple choice plan, uh, and that includes the two. That's like their basic bottom. And by the way, T-Mobile, you have no contracts. So this is the thing that I suggest people to do. Go to T-Mobile and buy the most inexpensive smartphone. Either get a Samsung, because LG. I took this one for my friend to use last time I went. My friend ended up meeting me there a week after I arrived, so I took the LG one I have right here. And unfortunately, this one didn't work with the international. So there's something inside of them. You know, it's like if it's an older phone, you're gonna have problems with it actually using that feature. And actually, it would find signal, but it wouldn't even connect. So that was a problem with this one here, but my iPhone worked fine. And when I went last summer, I also had a spare Samsung. I had a Galaxy S6 that I took with me as a spare that worked fine. That had no issues whatsoever. It connected. I was able to browse stuff and everything. So I kept that one at the apartment as a backup in case I lost my iPhone while I was there. But luckily I didn't. And through my iPhone I was able to connect. Now you do get 3G speeds. They say it's 2G. When I went last year, it was a little slower. When I went a couple of months ago, it was actually they've sped up a lot. Now it's not 4G. It's not LTE, but when you're on the go, and it's, trust me, for what you needed, especially for navigation, it's a lifesaver. So this is what I'm suggesting. Go to T-Mobile and tell them that you're going to be going to Japan, and you need a phone, an inexpensive smartphone that it'll probably cost you 100, 120, 150 bucks. From there, you can decide which ones they have that will work in Japan. That you're gonna need to get a simple choice plan. Good thing about T-Mobile is no contract. So get this just for the month, just for 1 month while you're there, and then the following month just cancel the subscription. Cancel the just don't renew. Just tell them I'm not gonna renew after this. So that's it. You paid it. You did that, and believe me, it's going to save you a lot of time. It's going to end up saving you so much money, because if you end up getting in the wrong train and end up in the wrong side of town and it's past midnight, you're going to be stranded because the rail system stops running at midnight. And if you're outside of where you're visiting, like Tokyo, if you end up in the wrong area, you're going to have to get a hotel. You're going to have to find either a hostel or an internet cafe to spend the night. Now, an internet cafe would be the better choice because they're very inexpensive, but maybe that part of town doesn't have an internet cafe, and you have to fork out a lot of money for a hotel. Hotels outside of Tokyo, by the way, there's lesser of a selection, and they can run more expensive. So again, this is why making an investment like this for a trip might not be a bad idea. And this is the plan that they have. Simple choice plan. It's 50 bucks, and it includes 2 gigabytes of data here in the States. But when you go internationally, you get 3G speed in Japan, and it's unlimited. So this is one of the things that I suggest for people to do. And actually, I'm going to do it right here on my tablet to show you the cool thing about this. And I have to download the app. But while I do that, I'm going to keep talking. It's very, very important when you go over there to be able to get on the right train and everything. So there is, with Google, when it comes to Google Maps, when you're in Japan, it will give you, when you're putting down where you're going, believe me, the GPS, everything works great. So write down where you're going on Google Maps, and it'll ask you, how do you want to get to where you're going? It'll have the choices there. Are you going to drive? Are you walking? Or are you using transit? Rail, you can choose between rail and bus as well. So if there's buses nearby that you can take, that's great. I'm not that savvy with buses in Japan. I mean, pretty much everything I did was rail, subways, metros, and that worked perfectly for me. That was a great choice. So Google Maps right here. It's available both on Android and iOS platforms. And I would suggest, if you get a phone for the trip, definitely get Google Maps. And I'm going to show you in a little bit, once it installs, why that's very important. And then it's so cool that they have this feature on there, because it shows you the times. It'll show you different times of departure. So it's not just showing you the train that's right there right now. It's going to show you when that train leaves, this other train's going to arrive, and this other train's going to arrive. And then it's going to tell you what station to get off of, and what other train you got to take, and what times those trains are. Now, if you miss that train, don't panic. Just open up the app again, put down your destination again, and then it's gonna figure out what trains you got to take again, but from where you are now. And that is, trust me, a lifesaver, because on my way to Tokyo last time, I ended up getting on the wrong train. No, actually, I got in the correct train. I just didn't get off the correct correct spot. So the train went on for about 10 minutes without stopping. It was the limited express, so it bypassed other stations. So once it got to the next stop, I got off. I put down my destination again, and sure enough, it just had me get on that same train, not the same vehicle, but that same route, but heading the other way. And then I got off where I was supposed to, and then I was able to get on to the correct train to get me to where I was going. So it's very, very, very important that you have reliable directions, reliable GPS when you're going over there. And the cool thing right here is like, so everybody knows Google Maps, so there it is. That's what it looks like. So you can type in that you want to go for, say, for me here, Los Angeles Convention Center. And right here, it shows you a little car, but there are other options that you can choose. Because here in LA, public transit, you see, you hit, there's a little tab at the very top. And let me show you. So you put where you're going, like me, Los Angeles Convention Center. See that little tab? Click on that. This is going to come up in Japan as well, and all your directions, everything is going to be in English. So right there, there's going to be some selections, and there's going to be the one that says public transit. So you click on that, and lo and behold, is going to show you information on how to get there using public transit. And that was, like I said, it was such a lifesaver when I went to Japan. Here we go, Convention Center. And right there at the top, once you get the directions, you can choose. Right there, it's going to be a little train for that. If you want to bike or if you want to drive, you can put that. But then right there, it tells you, and it's going to be the same thing in Japan. It's going to show you, where to go. If you want to take the bus right there, it shows you that option. But if you want to take the metro, like here in LA, the purple line, that's what would get me to downtown LA sooner. So if you're in Narita and you're heading to Tokyo, this app is gonna save you a lot of time. It's also gonna save you a lot of money. Now, money saver tips. I'm gonna share with you guys a very important tip. When you go to Japan, a lot of times people tell you get the SUICA card. The SUICA card, you can swipe, you can wipe by the ticketing system when you're going into the station, and it automatically deducts. You got to preload it, you got to pre-order it. Actually, you got to go to the SUICA website online. SUICA is spelled SUICA. You go on there and you pre-order it, so when you arrive to Japan, they already have it there at the airport waiting for you. It's something that is not as easily accessible to get once you get there, because you don't get the same price. It's going to be more expensive. But if you do it online, you get it on there, and I believe they preload $20 on the card. Now, there's a good advantage of having the SUICA card and a disadvantage to having the SUICA card. And this is why, because the SUICA card, you can use it for the metro when you're in Tokyo. You can use it also for the subway. You can also use it for the JR, the Japan Rail system. And is most commonly used for the rail system. Now, this last time I went, I used the JR line more than I had ever in previous trips. I usually use the metro and the subway, but I ended up going beyond the places that I went beyond my comfort zone this time. I really went out and explored the city, and a lot of those other areas, the only way to get there is by the JR line. SUICA card is great for using the JR line because pretty much when you're going from station to station, from one location to another, is pretty much, the rates are pretty much the same. This is why you don't want to use your SUICA card when you use the subway or the metro. They have these daily passes for the subway and metro. You buy it, it's 1,000 yen a day, so it's roughly about $10 for the entire day, and you can use it for the subway and the metro. You can use it between the two. And just swipe it in all day. Doesn't matter where you go, doesn't matter how many times you go. You get it here and there. You go all over the place, destinations for the metro and the subway, and you just paid one flat rate. If you're using the SUICA card, however, and you didn't buy the pass, you might end up paying about $25-$30 for commuting all over Tokyo in one day. So my advice is use the SUICA card for the JR system, because that way you're not fumbling with money and looking at the machines and putting the money in to get your little ticket, and then if you lose your ticket while you're in the subway, it's a pain to because then you got to pay all over again. It's just one of those things that it's like, the SUICA card is better. Now you get you get a nice big ticket. It's about this big for your day pass for metro and subway. So if you're looking at the destinations you're going and you use your Google Maps, this is what it's going to be able to tell you when you're in Japan, when you're going somewhere, if you're going to be using the metro and the subway or the JR line. And sometimes, you look at it and say it'll be less expensive to use the JR line today, because we're going to areas primarily for it. Or you might go, hey, if we end up taking the metro lines to where we're going, they both take us there, the JR and the metro. But with the metro, we can go other places, and if we buy the day pass, we're going to end up paying a lot less. So there are advantages to having the SUICA card, but I wouldn't use it for the metro or the subway, just because I can opt to get just straight up a day pass and save myself some money. Now, if you're only going to one destination and it's only 240 yen to get there, then use the SUICA card. It's a no-brainer. But if you're going to be going separate places, get the day pass for the metro and subway, SUICA card for the JR line. So I hope that kind of helps. So going back to the phone thing and everything. Remember, LG didn't work for me in Japan. It wouldn't be able to. I wasn't able to get data or text or any of that. Now this is very important for your phone, whichever you end up going with, a Samsung or end up buying an iPhone to go to Japan. One thing, very important thing is that it's very clear. You get unlimited text and unlimited data, but phone calls are 20 cents a minute unless you connect your phone to a Wi-Fi network. So if there's Wi-Fi hotspots, you connect your phone and you have to enable it to make Wi-Fi phone calls. It'll show at the top, and if you go to a T-Mobile store, let them know that you're going to be going. They're going to set it up for you and everything. You got to make sure that data is turned on. You got to make sure that roaming is turned on. So when you land in Japan and turn on that phone, it does what it needs to do, and you're ready to go. You get that welcome text, and you can start texting people. Let them know right away when you landed. Hey, I just landed. Take a selfie, send it to them. It's like, hey, I'm in Japan. Where are you at? Stuff like that. So it's pretty cool, and it's very convenient to have. So I would suggest, if you're going, buy an inexpensive smartphone at a T-Mobile store. Let them know you're going to Japan, so they can help you choose a model that you can use in Japan. They can set it up for you, have Wi-Fi calling ready. And this is the other thing. If you're concerned about, 3G speeds aren't that fast, and from time to time you'll have a little slower speeds in Japan with your phone. Don't worry about that, because Japan, as of when I first went in 2010, barely any Wi-Fi. There were Wi-Fi, but it was all paid. Free Wi-Fi, complimentary Wi-Fi was very rare. As of last summer, we found free Wi-Fi everywhere we went. In Narita, in Tokyo, and all the suburb places. Restaurants have free Wi-Fi now. Starbucks has free Wi-Fi now. Well, they've had it for a while, but they advertise it more. So pretty much everywhere you go in Tokyo now, you will find signs going in that says free Wi-Fi. At grocery stores over there have free Wi-Fi. Don Quixote, and they call it Donkey. It's a huge store. They have groceries, they have electronics, they have everything. It's multi-level. Right when you go in, big old sign, free Wi-Fi. Public areas like Ihabara has free public Wi-Fi wherever you go, wherever you walk. So being able to find Wi-Fi to get faster speeds, and if in case you want to upload a video while you're there, you're not gonna have a problem finding a place where you can use free Wi-Fi. Trust me, it's gonna be a breeze. But for transportation between a location A to location B and C and D, it'll be, trust me, if you have T-Mobile, just get it for 1 month at their simple choice 2 GB plan or higher if you want. But if you're just using it for this one time, get the 2 GB. It's gonna be a lifesaver. It's gonna save you so much time getting from one place to another, and being able to get on the correct train and not end up the wrong side of town at the wrong time. Because, like I said, rail stops at midnight in Japan, and you don't want to get stuck in an area that's not close to where you're staying. So, guys, I hope this is helpful. I hope my friend finds this information handy, and I'm actually going to go to sleep now. And because I have a lot of stuff I got to do tomorrow on Sunday, and for Anime Expo, which is coming up. So guys, that's where I'm gearing up for. I have so much stuff I got to do to get ready for Anime Expo, where I'm going to be uploading videos and telling you guys about the event and how it's going and how the thing is and how the weather is and how everything is. So I'm going to be there on day 0 to pick up my industry badge. And I'm going to be posting videos letting you guys know how things are. So Anime Expo is coming up. I'm psyched about it, but I got a lot of stuff I got to get done. So guys, thanks for watching. Welcome to Geek Destinations, and I will be posting more videos, and I hope I see you guys soon. Take care.